we negotiate all the time for our clients, or are you negotiating for yourself on your calendar to do the daily activities that you need to do to convert more of these mid-funnel leads, or just, let's just call it what it is, sell more homes, right? We just give up so easy on that, but so many of us call ourselves expert negotiators on top of advisors, therapists, relationship builders, dream makers, problem solvers, etc. Right? Oh, and those of you that are problem solvers, I've got a problem. Let's look at a house here, but I need to call, make 30 phone calls, solve for that problem. Like, where's it going to go? Right? So leave it to Barry. He wants to come in fashionably late. He's too fashionable for sales, right?
I never wear a hat, but I'm going to wear a hat because I can't seem to pull off my hair sticking straight up.
Oh Lord. Well, I think we got people.
We're not all as
while Barry's getting his shit together and getting a hat, we'll do some intros. I think what we're gonna be talking about, Barry and I today want to chat with you guys, and thank you to LabCoat and Tristan and everybody for setting this up. And I think it's something, Barry, everybody's talking about right now with adjustments and normalization, or whatever you want to call it in the markets, but converting more of what we got, and specifically those mid-funnel leads. So Barry and I'm going to break down 3 tips, 3 topics, 3 whatever you want to call it, to help you guys convert more of these leads. Please feel free down at the bottom to use the Q&A section if you guys have any questions as we're going. That Q&A is a lot easier for us to manage versus the chat. And I love it. People are starting to log in, tell us where they're coming in from. We got Philadelphia, Jersey, all that. Barry and I are in sunny Orlando at the, what is it? Unreal, Jeff Glover. So we're excited to be here, and we'll get going here in a second. So again, just let us know. And I guess, Barry, for some reason that don't know who you are or been living in Iraq, give us a little background. Who are you?
Okay. I know you were going to start with this singing the Star Spangled Banner. Are you not doing that?
Yeah, with my voice right now, it'd be perfect. Sound like I've entered puberty again. Here we go.
Oh, LCA's never letting us back, buddy. Jake's going to tell us. All right. So for real though, I'm in Virginia Beach, and I run a 70 agent team. We sell 800 to 900 houses a year, and I work alongside of Gabe at Ylopo. And what Gabe and I do is Barry was the best answer known to FubCon. All right. So we're masters at lead conversion. And, I am definitely not hungover, not even close. But so talking about lead conversion, leads from Google and leads from Facebook are typically they don't know what they want yet. You guys are calling them and you're frustrated that they don't know what they want yet. So let me say that again. It's kind of deep. You are calling leads and you are hoping to find people that know what they want. We know that they don't know what they want because they're searching on Google for information. And then you ask them, what do you want? And then you're frustrated that they don't know what they want. And the way you're frustrated is you say they're tire kickers, they're looky-loos, you can't get anybody with any urgency. And I want you to know that, Gabe and I run teams where we've learned how to talk to people that don't know what they want and create opportunities out of it. Because we're not selling vacuums. We're not selling ink pens. We're helping people get something that they really want. What's that, Gabe?
What? We're not selling those things? I've been doing this wrong. Been doing this the hard way.
That was you did have that what is it? The JV with the vacuum company, I think, right? It was
yeah. It really sucked. It really sucked.
It's good. That's actually really good.
For those who don't know, Barry, I'll just do this all day long.
So Gabe, don't you agree with me that, most of the leads don't know what they want yet?
No, I mean, the whole thing. So we're, 3 things we're going to take away mid funnel, right? So I think sometimes a lot of people don't even understand, what are you talking about? Top of funnel, mid funnel, bottom of funnel, right? We're always talking about building our pipeline, our database. so that we have something to live on, to grow, build our teams on, sustain our business, right? So we're not always generating more, we're converting more of what we've got. So top of funnel, meaning early on, it's just an idea. We call a lot, I think Laura refers to it, a lot of the realtor in residence is that dreaming phase, just thinking about it. It's an idea, right? Before you become into the shopping and then planning and transacting phases. We're talking about those people, they've probably been thinking about it. They're probably sitting in your database. They have been for months, hopefully, something going out to them. They're not quite ready to transact yet, but this is really where a lot of agents are missing opportunities. And I don't think they know where to look because they don't know what to say. To be just perfectly blunt, I think it's because they're too focused on their agenda, their journey, the agent. They're like, oh, I just want somebody who's ready to go, raising their hand, and then maybe somebody to go show my house and somebody to write up the paperwork. Like, you got to do something, right? We have to be able to get in front of them, speak their language. And so they want to make sure people understand as we're going through some tips. And I've got 3 we'll give away. Barry's got some. You end up with more than 3 because we do things a little bit differently. But just figure out what works for you. But at the end of the day, it's their journey, not yours. So figure out what to say to them based on their needs and what's going on to help get them and nurture them through the process.
Right.
So,
100%. 100%.
So what is, and I put a couple down, and I've got some takeaways as you guys stick around that I'll give you guys so you can just rip off and duplicate on some of the things that I'm going to talk about. Do you mind if I jump in on one, Barry? I think he froze up, so I'm going to jump in. So number 1, I think, we're going to give you 3 things. I've got 3, Barry's going to have some, but my 3, the first one's going to be consistency. And I don't know if you froze up, Barry, or if it was me, but I'm just going to keep talking until somebody tells me differently. So consistency. All right. I think we are over complicating this in this industry. I think agents, team leads and stuff, we've got to have an easy system to follow that is consistent. All right. We need to break this down, to stop over complicating it. One thing, I think I have the ability to share. I'm going to try. One thing that we do when it comes to lead, and I'm going to back up a second. I want to make sure everybody also understands the difference between lead follow-up, right, and lead prospecting, right? Lead follow-up, people we've spoken to, reacting to inbound activity, and then prospecting, we're reaching out to cold leads and stuff like that, all right? Where I really think people can help simplify, and what we do on our team is we call it our ABCs. All right, so I pulled up one of my agents' calendars here, and you'll notice every week they should have A's. A's to us, our leads are going to transact fairly soon, and they are worth our time. Something I picked up from Barry is worth our time to call once a week. And actually, I'm going to jump over here to also be consistent. I think we need to have everything written out. All right. Poor Barry gets to watch this all the time, but we have everything documented, right? A's for us, they need to have a logged call or text once a week. B's are every other week. C's are once a month. We also define every stage that we use along the way to move people through the pipeline to get them from top of funnel to mid funnel to bottom. This is actually a document I'll share with everybody at the end. We have our agents sign it because it's just the ABC expectations if you're going to take leads from me, from the team that we're providing. So to keep it simple and consistent, the agents every week have a block where they call their A's. So if I look at Alicia's calendar, every week she'll have an A block. All right. B's are every other week. So every other week on the calendar, if I skip 2 weeks, you're going to see a B block for her. All right. Once a month, and it's always the week of the 15th, there'll be a C block. All right. What this does, guys, I'm going to break this down real easy, is you just need to identify in your database who's worth your time. So for example, when Alicia comes in once a week, when this A block pops up, all right, she's just going to come in here within Follow Boss. We built a smart list. She's going to hit this. Oh my God, it's empty. It's not. We built this to basically just tell Alicia, hey, it's time to follow up with A's. And for us, we want to have very few A's. These are people we're moving through the funnel. It's only going to tell Alicia, hey, these are the A's that have gone more than the 7 days. You need to react. So if you clear these out, she's got 3 A's she's working with right now, actively working with, but she didn't need to call them because she just spoke to them. She just reached out to them 4 hours ago, a day ago, 2 hours ago. They didn't need to be in her list, right? Same thing. When a B comes up or a C pops up on her calendar, all she does, it's not tasks. I don't need a task for somebody every month for a year. She comes in here when that C block pops in, boom. All right. Okay. Wow. Your agent has 5 whopping C's. No, she doesn't. She only has 5 that need her attention. She's got 20, but she's already reached out to these people within the 30 days required. So what that list was telling her, so that she can be consistent and it makes it easy, is, hey, Alicia, Right now on this time block, you only have 5 people that need your attention. So when it comes to consistent, I think there's some things. Make sure you're documenting what are the stages, what are the processes, and have a set follow-up standard that works for you, that works for your team, and put it on there, but put it in writing so you have something to hold yourself and your team accountable to.
Yeah, no, that's so good. What Gabe's really been good at is kind of the bones of the lead follow-up structure for his business. And I don't know if you said it, but just so you guys know, Gabe's running teams in like maybe 6 cities now, more or less, maybe 5, something like that.
Yeah, Texas, Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, and Illinois.
Those are 6 states.
States. Well, it was easier than naming the cities.
So okay, so cities, it's like way more. And so what he's had to do, put together a blueprint that works in one market and then give them just enough to apply it to another. And so he's been able to, it's kind of the dream, even though I know from a fact by working with Gabe, it's not always the dream, but he's able to take and copy and paste what he's done in different markets across the country. And so when we talk about this webinar topic and say like, oh, we've got this webinar on converting middle of funnel leads, there's a reason. One of the reasons Gabe and I remain so successful is nobody else wants to talk to the middle of funnel lead. You guys that are listening to me right now, you're here because the topic of talking to middle of funnel leads is interesting to you. And if you're honest, most of you crumble like a house of cards when the lead says to you, I'm not sure, I'm not really ready. Can you call me in a year? Like you're disappointed when they say that. I want you to know I'm making all my money off of that person. My ROI off of that person is so significantly higher than my referral accounts where I have to pay a 40% referral fee and then split it 50-50 with my agent. And it all comes down to understanding a different type of conversation. And to Gabe's point, going over his SOP, I want you guys to understand this also impacts your drip campaigns. If you guys are being honest, you fall in like one or two main camps. There's others. But one is, I don't know what I'm sending. I just use whatever so-and-so uses. I copied it because you don't want to mess with it. And you know what? I understand. But what you have to understand with a lot of these drip campaigns that you guys are using is they are overvaluing the fact that they're automated and devaluing the words that are actually being said. They're still just looking for someone that wants to buy or sell right now. So what you've done is you've taken an error, which is to say, call this lead that doesn't know what they want and say, what do you want? And then the automation is text this lead that doesn't know what they want and ask them what they want. And eventually the numbers are going to work out. It's a computer, let it run its thing. And so what I want to encourage you guys to do is if you create both the conversations you have, the drip campaigns you use, and the automation you use all around the concept of encouraging dialogue. If you can do that, you will start to be able to practice. People wonder why my drip campaigns have such high engagement. And that's because they've been written for engagement.
Wow.
Like they're not written. They're not written to get someone to buy a house with me. Like the body of the email will say, go ahead.
I just want to pause your, I just want to pause puberty again. Sorry. Second time I've said puberty in a webinar. What he just said is massive. And I hope, we've got, a couple hundred people on here, not counting the watchback, is Barry said the reason that his action plans get so much engagement is they're written for engagement. He did not write them to sell a house, which I think goes into the second tip I was going to give you, led right into it, is communication. So first one was consistency. Second was communication, right? And we got to speak their languages, their journey. Right. And what he just said is so huge. And I think most people probably missed it. They get engagement because that's where they were written. He's not calling up trying to sell a house today, or he's not sending them the first, second, or third email to try and sell a house that day. It's engagement.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so actually somebody just asked where like, can I get one of your drip campaigns? The easiest way is if you go to the website, TooNice, TOONICE.SHOP. So TooNice.shop. There's actually a free long-term drip campaign. Just download it. There's no, I'm not going to like call you later and try to sell you something. It's just a way for me to distribute the content. And when you read it, you're going to say, well, that's interesting. Looks like they probably respond to this one. And what you need to understand is that response is toonice.shop, toonice.shop, shop. And I just want them to reply so that I can start talking to them. Because see, if I don't start the dialogue with them to where I'm actually able to get some back and forth, I'm effectively waiting for them to put in an order to have a door opened. Like that's what they've relegated your job to, guys. You're a door opener to them. And that's because that's what Zillow and Realtor.com want. That's the role they want you. I'm not even mad at them. I don't hate them. I'm just saying they're trying to diminish the role of the realtor to the point that they can keep most of the money.
Yep. I'm going to go into that. So speaking their language and looking for engagement, right? I think it comes down to, most of us, and probably a lot of people on this webinar are okay with taking our credit card and buying leads or doing lead generation, and that's great. But we got to work them through the funnel, and we're focusing on these 3 tips. Barry led us beautifully right into communication. And I'm going to geek out a little bit because, like Barry says, I love process and documenting things because it's easy to follow, it's easy to replicate, it's easy to train to agents, to ISAs. Part of that communication is speaking their language. And again, I want to talk about documenting it. And Barry knows as well as I can move my Zoom tools here, that I share a lot of this. I document everything. Every lead that comes in, every person is at a different spot in their journey, right? So we need to take the time, I believe, to speak to them in a different fashion to where they are in their journey. So we'll break down every lead source that we've got coming in and how we're going to talk to them and make it easy. So I'll jump to, let's see, zBuyer, for example, right? We document when it comes in, we push it into YLOPO so that they get all the benefits of remarketing, retargeting. Next step is to call. All right. Well, if you don't know the script, we literally have it embedded right here. So you can read the script right from the process. After the script, we put it in there as well. Create seller alert. When we're going to do this, we literally, if you don't know how to create a seller alert, so I don't have to teach this again, I'll put a link right into how do you create a seller alert. I'll teach them how to do it. After you create the seller alert, all right, send a template of the heat map through YLOPO, which is showing how many buyers we have in the database that match that home. So we do an overview of the video. It's all templated. So we've already talked about being consistent and document it. And then we're going into communication to convert those. Are you speaking to them? So that SOP for zBuyer is going to be different than our SOP for a YLOPO direct connect, right? Where they're at. And it's all speaking to them to try and engage them, like what Barry just said, on their journey. So sellers going to get like a heat map from YLOPO or a seller alert. Buyers are going to get dynamic listing ads. Are going to have Raya hit them. So when we're talking communicate, we need to remove ourselves and figure out where are they at and what's going to get them to engage. And that's either an email, a text, a phone call, or something inbound to respond.
Absolutely. And in your most of your markets that you're in and the markets that I'm in, it's not vacation second home markets. Mike Rennick's on this. He's another YLOPO realtor in residence. He's in a very much a vacation market. Okay. Not all vacation, but very predominantly, like it's just people buy second homes there. And so for his email content and his trips, he like, I can hear him from wherever he's at right now saying like, that's exactly what we do. We're trying to get an engagement. We're trying to have a conversation, but the conversation with that vacation market, the level of urgency is diminished even more because I don't know many people that are in a rush to buy a vacation home. They want it, but it's not urgent. It's not like I got a new job. I'm moving here in a week. I got to find a house. And so his conversations, he's decided to make content around, the area or, different insights about the market or things like that are relevant to people that are looking for a second home. What I've decided to do is because I'm not in a second market, I decided I was going to write content for middle of funnel leads that they're ready to talk about. So for example, I don't ask them what they want. I ask them what they don't want. Let me say that again. I don't ask them what they want. I ask them what they don't want. They have certainty. If they're living in an apartment and they miss having a yard, they have certainty that this time around they want a yard. You're giving them the opportunity. You're leading them down the path of self-discovery. People pay therapists a lot of money for that. Okay. Like that's like a thing.
Who you telling?
I know.
So I'll just do it for people out there. Barry, give me an example of asking for something they don't want? Just like takeaway. Like what is an example of asking for something like they don't like? How would you ask something like that?
What I would just say, what are you hoping to change about where you live right now? I would just keep it real general.
Yep.
I can't, as the
No,
agent,
it's so
I want
simple.
certainty. It is, but I
Yeah.
want certainty as an agent, and they're not able to give it to me. So I need to ask questions that are indirect,
Yep.
that get me where I need to go. So asking a question, tell me about what you want to change about where you live right now, is an indirect way to find out what they want. It also, by the way, allows you an opportunity to have authentic rapport, not the fake friends.
And it's about them. You didn't ask, when can I set up the showing, or what can I find out about this, or what can I, no, what is it that you don't like about the place you're currently living? And you can't really say no to that, right? It's an engaging question about them that allows them to communicate and get to their truth.
Absolutely. Hold on. We got a Nastygram from Jake. Oh, no, it's not an Nastygram. They're saying we're doing so good we can go longer if we want. That's actually the opposite of an Nastygram.
yeah, that's not. How dare you, Jake? I'm going to back up a tiny bit too, because you brought up Mike Rennick in Middle of Funnel. If you guys ever get a chance to catch him, I absolutely love him. Give him credit for something that I've talked about every now and then, and I think I always give him credit. But his 7 and 7, I think, is another great middle of funnel conversion technique that he uses, and he can talk about it another time because it's his. But it's another great one if you're looking to sharpen your tool set and go through that you need to do. So I'm going to give one more on consistency if you're good with that, Barry.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's going to go, I want to make sure we're using our tools. So we use Follow Up Boss, so does Barry, whether it's Follow Up Boss or whatever. We've also got to stay consistent, which was my number one, but then communicate on their path. I've built my lists for a couple different reasons that we're using. And Barry has lists that are second rate to mine, but they're still lists. Just build some sort of list. And the reason I'm doing it, and it helps with consistency, but also communication, because I'll just stay on Alicia. So an agent comes in, we have a now stage, which are leads that are set by our ISAs. We work left to right. All right. So for Alicia to stay consistent and then know how to communicate, which is my second one, it's all based on the column. A now lead is right now something that needs her attention now, that's an appointment. So when she comes in, she knows when she's working these leads, first of all, they're the highest priority, and she knows that they're waiting on her for something. It's an appointment lead. It needs her now. Right? Once she clears that, and we can all check one thing off our list. That's easy. We can't do that. We're screwed going forward, right? Then she comes to Handraisers. Who do I have? Oh, I have one Handraiser. All right. Well, the list is built for us. She does have one. Great. She only has one person right now. A Handraiser has inquired on a property. So it comes in, they're waiting. We're either waiting for them or we're trying to reach them to answer their question. They'll stay in this list for quite a while, but I know when I'm calling this list, I'm answering a question, just like somebody in a classroom. All right. When I'm calling my second list, let me see if she's got any. She doesn't have anybody that's engaged with HomeBot right now that she hasn't answered their question. Perfect. Who do I have when I'm Alicia that's talking to Raya? My communication is going to be take over this conversation. So she knows she had one less than 24 hours ago. Alicia's job is to come in. Did I take over? And she did beautifully. She came in. They were talking to Wailopo, comes in, sets an appointment, and confirms it. So now she's cleared out that list. And it just goes through for us urgency inbound. So appointment, asking questions, engaging with HomeBot sellers, talking to our AI, anything internally that we're seeing, we nudge them, and it'll stay in this list until she's answered it. So it was 0, and I cleared out, has not talked to in the last day. It's dynamic to set up. So she knew she only had one person to reach out to. And then for her, active priority. I mean, this is going to be her longest list. But again, it's the best of the best, has a good phone number, triggered a priority alert. I have not called them in the last day. And then I've been on my website. The reason I want to bring this up under communication is each one's bracketed under a certain column or list based on their activity. So it's very easy for me to stay dialed in on knowing I'm answering these questions for properties of these people. I am taking over a conversation that they're having with my AI assistant. I'm calling to ask questions about the activity priority alert that they got. So makes it easy to stay consistent, small bite-sized pieces of the most active people, and communicate in the same column in the same style per list. So it's just a matter of segmenting it down into bite-sized pieces.
So smart. So smart. I really, I don't think about it a lot, but when you start talking about a lot of the,
when I start talking a lot,
No, a lot of these topics, it really highlights the fact that you've had to organize. And I know you've got some great people working alongside of you to get it done, but you guys collectively, I don't think I appreciate enough how much organization you've had to have to scale into multiple locations. I think it's pushed you, to be honest with you. I mean, would you agree that it's pushed you a little bit?
It's pushed me, and I think it's made it maybe more confident to be able to do it. It's easier to replicate, right? I'm not having to reinvent the wheel. I'm adjusting little things, and it's made it necessarily easier, but more efficient and profitable to go into these other markets, but start replicating, right? We have a lot of our team huddles together where we're role playing, talking about all this stuff, and we bring a lot of the teams together, even we're in different time zones and stuff, to literally make sure we're just all on the same page, because our markets are all different, right? You're on the East Coast. We got everybody. I think I saw about every freaking city in the country on here. But the process and the journey for the people in our databases is relatively close, right? And it's just about where are they at, making it about them and understanding what's going on. I think you had just stepped out chatting with somebody. I'll share a quote. We're with the Jeff Glover event. And my favorite quote from the event so far, it really tied well, I think, into what we're talking about today, is about, they was talking about success. And I put this under my consistency to share with my team, but he's like, the secret to success isn't a secret at all. It's literally determined by your daily agenda and efforts, right? So we all have the same time. And so I just really resonated with me as far as what are the things we need to be doing each and every day, being consistent, communicating properly. And then I'll get into my third tip here in a second, but it just really made me wonder, like, how many people in here, and I'm curious, we've got 124, and I don't know if everybody has their reactions. I think they have a reaction button, maybe not, or throw into the chat. And let's be honest, you're in a safe spot. Well, I mean, we'll make fun of you, or Barry will make fun of you afterwards, but this is a safe spot, a safe space. Yeah, thanks. How many of you actually time block your lead cadence follow-up? Who actually time blocks it? And when I say actually time blocks it, who's actually sticking to their time block and doing it as well? I'm not seeing a lot of people posting that, right?
Somebody said fakely. I want to send them like presents or something, because that is like the best.
Yeah,
the best
thank you.
Ever. Fakely.
I put it on there. But guys, I mean, this does not have to be difficult, right? Based on your technology, Ylopo's capturing all of these leads, this activity and priorities and AI communication and sending it to your CRM, right? And your CRM is giving you the ability to dish it up, whether you're the team leader, the agent, or the ISA. Are you doing it, right? So now there we go. Yeah. We woke some people up. Now they're
when we talk about them, yeah, you're right. You did wake them up, and that's awesome. Like when we talk about them being consistent, I don't think it's because of always a lack of organization or focus or drive. I think if I use a silly example, they have a plan this morning and they have a client that suddenly needs them to do something, and there's always something else to be done. And so it's hard for them to have true consistency. And I want to give you guys a tip that we can kind of make it fit into the whole topic of middle of funnel, because I think you do need your schedule dialed in to do this, because you do need consistency. And that's this: when you have a plan to work, let's say, to do your lead follow-up every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 in the morning, let's say that's and you have a client that says, hey, can you do the home inspection at 9 o'clock tomorrow? Well, all of you are going to say yes. Okay. And I'm not even faulting you for saying yes. It's part of why you're successful. Sorry, I just got a message that distracted me. Rennick says he's coming next time we're in Florida. So we're gonna get together. What was I talking about? You weren't listening.
Talking about being consistent, not getting distracted.
Right. This is what I want you to say to the client. I can do that. I have something personal at that time. I can move it. I can move this personal appointment tomorrow. However, would it be a problem if we pushed it back an hour? They normally, I've only had one client in my 16 years of production. I've been at this for 24 years, but 16 years of selling houses. I only had one client in one instance that they just had a legitimate conflict. But if you just ask permission, I've got a personal appointment that I can move. Are you available an hour later? Almost always they're going to let you keep your schedule, and you're not sacrificing the relationship with the client.
Yep.
This works phenomenally well.
Agree 100%. Most agents just won't ask, but I agree. If you just ask and try to take your schedule, it'll happen. I believe you actually come across more professional than just being able to be available at any time. But also, I'm going to ask this because I had this conversation with one of my agents actually just last week. Go back into chat, guys. As agents, and I see this on so many business cards, what do we consider ourselves professionals at as real estate agents? Throw it in the chat. Where do you think I'm going with this? All right. What do we think that we're, and a lot of agents say, well, I'm a professional blank when it comes to being in real estate as a real estate agent. All right. Because it dives into exactly what Barry was just talking about. So communicator, talkers, lead generator. I haven't got it yet. Come on. Problem solver, marriage counselors. Here we go. I threw that one in. Advisor, therapist, relationship. Nobody's actually said this. I'm shocked because I see this on almost every signature and advertisement. Everybody's like professional or expert negotiator, right? We're expert negotiators, and a lot of our job is helping our clients negotiate.
Oh,
but yet when somebody comes in and wants to take an hour of my time block that I need to fill my funnel and build my business, to pay my mortgage and support my family, we can't ask one question to try and move it. Now let's just go. We ask for it. We know this is the only time I can go, Gabe. All right, perfect. We need to now negotiate with our own calendar. If I'm going to give up that hour of time block that I need to fill my funnel because I know it's valuable, dollar productive activities, negotiate with your calendar. Where is that going to go in, and what are you going to give up? Right? You just need to look at that if you're going to go into it. So we negotiate all the time for our clients. Or are you negotiating for yourself on your calendar to do the daily activities that you need to do to convert more of these mid-funnel leads, or just, let's just call it what it is, sell more homes, right? We just give up so easy on that, but so many of us call ourselves expert negotiators on top of advisors, therapists, relationship builders, dream makers, problem solvers, etc. Right? Oh, and those of you that are problem solvers, I've got a problem. I got to look at a house here, but I need to call, make 30 phone calls, solve for that problem. Like, where's it going to go? Right? So firefighter, I love that too. So we just need to respect ourselves, our calendars, and our time, and understand the things that are going to keep us business. The biggest thing that we see in real estate, we all know this, the ups and downs. It's because all the things that we were doing that got us busy, we stop doing as soon as we get busy, because we give that busy work, that other stuff, the priority over the three things that got us converting more of these funnels. I'm hoping everybody that's on this webinar is doing some sort of lead generation. So we're talking about converting more mid-funnel. So just make sure you're not giving up what you did to get there. And that's what most agents, even on my own team, fall short on, right? They just gave up what they were doing that got them busy.
Well, right? And I would argue, let's see, I guess I lost everybody there for a second.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Gabe?
You're sideways, but that's all right. I've seen you look worse.
Oh man. All right.
There you are.
All right. I want to blow everybody's mind for a second. The person that is afraid to do what we said about asking the client to move an hour later, which if I'm going to guess, I'm going to say about 75% of the people listening to me talk right now are the ones that just normally don't advocate for a later appointment to keep their own. If I'm right, and you're one of those people, and you're like, okay, that's a good idea, I'm going to try it, but you're nervous because you're afraid to lose the clients, you are also the agent that almost always is waiting to be told what to do.
Yep.
You are not a leader. You are not the dentist or the attorney. You are a waiter or a waitress, and there's nothing wrong with being a waiter or waitress. But the greater problems you solve in your career, whatever career that is, the better compensated you are. Delivering a burger with a side of fries is a problem that the waiter or waitress is solving. It's just not that complicated. So they make a certain amount of money. As a real estate agent, you make a certain amount of money for solving problems. It is a bigger problem when the person doesn't know what they want. This is why having a conversation with a prospect that they don't think they're ready to have, but because you're so engaging and you're asking questions that are just getting down to the nitty-gritty of what the core need of the process is. When you learn to do this, I want to promise you guys something. You will always have an abundance of sales. You will always have plenty, because there are way more people that don't know what they want yet than there are the people that have certainty. And all of you are waiting for certainty. And that's why you just don't sell that much.
Yep. I love that. I love it. All right, we're down to just like a few minutes. And I can't remember, I'm trying to keep track. So I know consistency, communication were two hard takeaways. My third one, I'm probably going to get shipper think it's cheesy, but going right into the theme of what we're talking about and converting more mid-funnel, guys. My third one is we have got to, and I know this is tough if your sales have dipped or you're hearing things in the media of the market shifting and everything, but when there's chaos, there's also opportunity. My third one is you have to start capturing these mid-funnel leads sooner. All agents, they're all like, oh my gosh, I want the Handraisers. I want more of this, more of that. There's just fewer of it to go around, more people competing over it. It's harder to get. You want to start converting more mid-funnel leads. You have got to realize that you've got to start capturing them higher in the funnel and doing something, back to the first 2 points, that is being consistent and communicating the right message to keep them until they're that mid-funnel and then react to them. If you're coming into this thing, okay, this is what I need to do. I'm going to try and just figure out how to find more mid-funnel, higher. There are some there, but you cannot build and scale your entire business on that. Realize to convert more mid-funnel leads, besides just being consistent communicating, you have got to capture them a little bit sooner. All right. You've got to capture them some sort of brand awareness or service presence in front of them, so that when it gets to that mid funnel, and this is where they are making decisions, some way to the very bottom of the funnel, but not a lot. A lot are building that rapport and getting brand awareness mid funnel. You can't just start there, right? Understand that you got to start higher in the funnel to start doing some of these things that are consistent, communicating the right message. A lot of it can be automated. I'm not saying pound the phones every single day on people that aren't worth your time. I'm just saying capture them early, put your processes in place, and then be consistent and communicate the right message when they're getting to that mid funnel and doing things based on activity, showing you that they're more of a mid funnel lead.
I love it. I love it. And the only thing, I mean, all of that was so spot on, man. And, it's been a cool journey for, I think, the both of us. You've been doing PPC for a long time, but with technology being able to nurture the way that it is, it's been cool to watch you kind of walk into this like higher middle of funnel lead bracket. And I think it's helped you scale, to be honest with you.
Oh, huge. Because thank you, first of all. Yes. And thank you. And we're going to have some brotherly love here, but also back to you. Yeah. It's been a great working alongside you, learning how to work more automations and triggers and things that can be automated, because let's face it, we'll be very real right now. The top of funnel nurture game, if you're doing this manual, sucks and you can't do it. It takes you away from what you need to do. So you've taught me so much on automating between just the action plans and FUB and YLOPO and AI and all this. How do we automate a lot of that to trigger more engagement and then hit the ones that are active when it's time? It's way more fun to respond to inbound active people than
absolutely. Because if we can keep the consumers on our website, we can use their behavior to determine who we're going to obsess about in our CRM.
Yes.
So if I've got 100 leads and I call all 100 of them, but 20 of them or 15 of them continue to come back to the website, I'm going to continue to call them because their behavior is indicating that this is a person acting interested. The last thing I want to say is like a middle of funnel mindset shift that I want everybody to kind of take part in is if you're like most nice people, like making people happy. You are motivated by pleasing people. There is nothing wrong with that. And that's why you've done well with your sphere of influence. They ask you for help and you say, yes, I'm so glad you asked. How high do you want me to jump? When do you want me there? You'll do whatever they need. And with a middle of funnel lead, you want to approach them the same way, except that they always start the conversation with something like, yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really that ready. I'll call you in a year. You want to make them happy. The only way you know to do that is to get off the phone. And I want to tell you guys, you are not thinking about them. You are focused on your emotional need to feel accepted and approved of. It's not fair to the stranger. It's not fair to this stranger on the other end of the phone, this lead, for you to depend on them to feel approved of or liked. You have to be so selfless with this stranger that even though you know they don't want to talk to you yet, you know enough about your craft that you know if you ask them these questions, they will appreciate it at the end. So stop being selfish. Did everybody jump off when I said that? No, they haven't.
I hope not, because it was good stuff. And I threw, as you were talking, some objections that mid-funnel leads or even a little bit higher mid-funnel are throwing out. I'm taking that back. Not objections, responses that most agents, and you and I get the privilege of working in a lot of teams, databases, and helping coach them and fix a lot of these. And these get blown off nonstop. Of course, they're just looking. They're on your website, right? They're not ready yet. Of course, they're not ready yet, or they'd be working with your competition, right? Or they're on hold. This is what we're talking about mid-funnel. Just be a human and provide service and communicate to them. If you're at the restaurant, you're hungry, maybe you're not starving, but new restaurant, you're not exactly sure what you want. You're sitting there, and a great server, or not mediocre server, somebody who's great is going to engage. It's like, well, Barry, tell me, what are some of the things that you like? What are some of your favorites, right? They're going to engage you. That's great service, right? They're going to engage you, get you talking about what you want, and then you can make recommendations, right? Way better service. And it's about
absolutely. So
we need to do the same. Hey, I'm just,
and
looking.
I think
It's exciting. When you say just
100%
of the spring or next fall. Sorry, Barry.
No, I did. There was a delay a little bit, but I was just going to add to that, I think real estate's the only industry that you can come from this, like the most sincere, kind, servant-minded mindset and not this fake service where I just want to make them happy. I'm talking about they really, really need this, right? The way that a firefighter kicks in a front door, they know they need to get in the house because there's a fire. They don't make a sale every time they break the front door, right? They're doing their job by doing the hard thing. Real estate gives us the opportunity to come from that same place of being sincere and service. And we make more money than our doctors and attorneys and everybody around us by being these really good, passionate people. And so just go out there, crush it. And I wrote a book on it, Too Nice for Sales. So if anybody wants to check it out, you can check it out.
Yeah, I was breaking up there.
Did you leave, Gabe?
What's that?
Oh, it looks like your camera went off.
Yeah, I kept freezing up and going unstable there. I agree with all that. I'm going to correct. I agreed with everything you said. I'm going to put an asterisk though on one little thing. When you said, and we make more money than doctors, attorneys, and all that, I'm going to put an asterisk there. We have the ability and the opportunity to, but it is going to come down to what are you doing every day? Are you being consistent? Are you communicating to them about them and their journey? And are you continuing to fill your funnel so you have this never-ending pipeline of business, right? So it's the opportunity to do that, but it is on you if you want to get to that tier.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake, I need you to send a note to Tristan. I wore this hat specifically to impress him, and because he always wears those good luck hats, and he hasn't been on. So you can let him know that was pretty disappointing to me.
Just for him.
Thanks, Jake.
I love it. Yeah. And hey guys,
all right, well, I think we're done, right?
Yeah, I think we went a little bit over. They put all the links in there. I'd love to do this again with you, Barry. Bruce, glad to see you on here.
Sounds good, brother.
You guys know how to get us. We'd love to help out and do this again. So have a great one.